What's up, my writing weirdos? Hey, it is BC here, and I am here tonight because I'm not sleeping. So I figured I would get a little bit of productivity in tonight and get weird about words with my friends here on Authortube. And so that is basically what I'm going to do tonight. To help me get sleepier, I've got a little bit of my rosé bubbly that came in my Pride bottle the other day that I found at Target. So hopefully that'll help me get a little bit sleepier going forward tonight. But if not, no big deal. I'll just get a lot more writing done because basically it's still Camp Nano and there's still a lot more words that I need to crush. I am still technically on track for Camp Nano, but not where I wanted to be by the 13th of July. And actually, I think if I don't like crush some words tonight and tomorrow and in the next couple of days, I'd have to crush like 2,000 or 3,000 words here in the next couple of days, which I know I can do. I know I'm perfectly capable of doing it. It's just, finding the time, finding the motivation, and, doing all of that stuff. Plus maintaining like my videos and getting everything like that going at the same time and still working on all the house stuff that I'm working on. But I know I can do it. I just got to sit down and do it. And these streams help me do it. So I'm going to have these streams. So you can probably expect a few more pop-ups from me over the course of the next couple of days. Some stuff that's already scheduled, some stuff that's not scheduled yet. Probably some middle of the night shit for me, at least. I know it's not for everybody, but it is middle of the night for me. Some of those streams coming up too. We've got a couple of folks here. Already tonight. Ms. Doll is up with some insomnia as well, and I am definitely feeling that. So we'll see how it goes. Ms. Jennifer Brown is here, of no relation, but still the Browns will take over the world because we are awesome. Is unfortunately up with a stomach ache, but looking for a distraction. I am more than happy to provide the distraction, Jennifer. I wish you weren't feeling so puny, though. That kind of sucks, Like Doll is saying, I hope the pain goes away for you soon, because it just sucks when you don't feel well. And that's kind of all there is to it. Autumn is here. Good to see you, Autumn. Always happy to have you in my stream. Thank you. I am particularly fond of that particular picture as well. I just took it the other day. I don't know, like a week ago. Whenever D&D was. Whenever I did D&D on Sakotomi's channel, that's when I took that picture. And really enjoyed my gummy bear. And really enjoyed the way that those pictures turned out. So I think what we'll do is we're going to just go ahead and get started on some sprints. I need to get a timer up here, ready to go. It's my very healthy middle of the night snack that I have here, my gummy bears. I love gummy bears. Gummy bears are like they're like the food that I have to have when I write. And it's been a long time since I've actually had like just some gummy bears while I've been writing. And I don't know if it's psychosomatic or what it is, but there's something about having the gummy bears and that gets associated with me being able to write really fluidly, me not having really any trouble with writing. I don't know if it's the sugar high. It probably is the sugar high, in all honesty, but it works for me. So let's see. Let's go into my playlists, because in my playlist I have a bunch of timers that are already saved that I absolutely love to use. Writing timers for productivity. I got a bunch of stuff in my playlist, y'all, if you want to go and check some of it out. I've got everything from like what are my go-to karaoke songs to our Authortube karaoke, which we just had 2 days ago, a day and a half ago, depending on how you want to look at it, on Saturday. We had it on Saturday, my time at least. And really had a good time with Authortube karaoke. We had so many new singers this time and so many singers. It was so fun. For the first time, we got to use StreamYard's 10 people on screen at a time, so I didn't have to like limit people nearly as much. I didn't have to rotate people through nearly as often this time, and it was really cool. So we are going to get started with probably a 15-minute timer. And let's see, let's use Camille Merrick's 15-minute timer because I really like how clean and how simple her timers are. And I haven't used her timers really in a while. I used them on Friday, but other than that, I really haven't used Camille's timers in a while, and I really like them. So let me see if I can't get it back to the start here at 15 minutes, and we will go ahead and share my screen so that you all can see it. Hey, Sage, good to see you here. Glad to have you, as always. You stayed up super late for our Authortube karaoke the other day, and I really appreciate it. It was so cool of you, and you hung out for pretty much, not pretty much, but you hung out for the whole time. So, scheduled to go out. That sucks. That sucks. But at least you'll be here for a little while. Maybe you can get a little bit of a sprint in before the power ends up going out. So we are going to start the first sprint today. But I wanted to pose a question to y'all before we get started on the first sprint. How do you deal with, or have you experienced, writer imposter syndrome? And basically, if you're not familiar with what that is, writer imposter syndrome is where for some reason you don't feel like you are a real writer, like everybody else is a real writer. I've never really experienced it in most of my professional life. I haven't really like experienced it most of my professional life until real recently, because I took a hiatus from writing. I took basically a sabbatical from writing last year, and I only just got back into my writing at the beginning of the year when I started up my YouTube channel. And I found, I gave myself a lot of leeway for the first, like 3 or 4 months because I knew I was still just getting back into it. But I haven't been able to get back to the level of productivity that I've had in the past, if you know what I mean. And it's starting to kind of erode my confidence a little bit as a writer. Now, I'm not saying like this for like self-pity or anything like that, because I do sometimes really crush it with my level of productivity, but you have to understand I was used to producing probably upwards of 3,000 to 4,000 words a day on my projects before, and it was fluid writing. It was not, I didn't have to struggle for it really. I had points where I had to struggle, but they were pretty rare. And now I'm having to struggle more often, and really having where I'm pulling at the words, or I'm having to pull the words out of myself. So it's kind of started to erode my confidence a little bit in my ability to write. And I know it's all in my head. I am a writer. I have been a writer since I was 8 years old, and wrote my first quote unquote novel. But still, it's really difficult when you've got that blow to your confidence and your self-esteem and your professionalism, frankly. And I'm wondering how other people deal with it. So how I've been dealing with it is just trying to take it easy on myself and remind myself that it's not the number of words I can complete in a day. It's the drive to maintain my professional ability to write. It's just the drive to actually write the words, no matter how few they are or how many they are. So I'm kind of wondering what it is that other people like keep in their brain, and maybe it's something that will help me out a little bit. Maybe it's something that'll help other people out if we talk about it a little bit. So that is my first question for tonight: is when imposter syndrome creeps up on us, how do each of us manage to get over that hurdle, or manage to kind of talk ourselves out of it? Or is it something that just goes away for you? I know that that is sometimes an issue as well, where it just suddenly will just go away and you have a good productive day, and that's just kind of, how it naturally, I guess, ebbs and flows, which I don't know about that. I never used to have the problem before. I never questioned whether or not I was a real writer before. And this is coming from me. I'm, if you're new to my channel, hey, Writing Weirdos. So if you happen to be new to me, that's great. It's awesome to have you here. A little bit of backstory. I am a hybrid published author. I have 8 published titles, everything from novels to playwriting. And accredited to my name. I post how-to writing videos, publishing videos, marketing videos on my channel twice a week. I host these live streams once a week, sometimes more often than that if I can't sleep, like tonight, not sleeping, so I'm here. So I've never really worried about whether or not I was a real writer before, but now with the imposter syndrome feeling, I'm starting to feel like I'm losing it. Does that make sense? I don't know. This is apparently tonight is Confessions of a BC night. So, or it's just me just airing my insecurities online, which, hey, whatever, But I kind of wonder what other people do to help with that anxiety and to help with those self-confidence issues. And I think we could learn a lot from each other about how to do it. So that's what I want to talk about after our first sprint here for 15 minutes, and see how it is that we all deal with it. All right, so let's get ready to sprint for 15 minutes and see how, and then afterwards we'll have a little talk about imposter syndrome and how we tackle that. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1, sprint. All right. So that is the end of our first sprint that we had, where we spent 15 minutes working on whatever shit we needed to get done, whether it's writing, cleaning house, trying to make yourself fall asleep, reading a book, excuse me, whatever it is that we needed to get done. Sweet Humor came into the chat. Want to say hey to you for being here. Alley Cat 107 is also here. Hey, my writing weirdo, good to see you. So before the chat, I asked about how people deal with imposter syndrome and feeling basically like you're less than as a writer, or not as much of a writer or as real of a writer as other people are. So that was what I asked for those just popping in during the sprint. And so Alley Cat got 130 words working on the last chapter of my short story. That is good. I struggled. Like, I've been struggling. And it is no bueno. I no like. Me no likey. But I did manage to get some words done. I got 87 words in. I had to do a little bit of rereading just to get myself back in the mindset, because I haven't written on anything, in 2 days. So, or a day, depending on how you want to look at it, 2 days, a day, whatever. I haven't written anything since Friday. And so, I had to do some rereading and figure out where I left off and get myself kind of like back in the mood of where I'm at in the story, which is I'm in the climax chapter. So it's really important that my mood is as consistent as possible. And I'm as consistent as possible through this chapter, because it is the most important chapter. Everything building up is important, yes, for building the story and having a good foundation for the story. But this is where, if I can't capture the reader in my climax, then I can't capture the reader anywhere in a story, and they'll just be let down when they read it. So I know I'm putting probably a little too much emphasis on this chapter this month, especially because this is just my first draft, but also I know I need to put the emphasis on it because I'm struggling so much with my writing right now. So I need to take a little more care, I guess is what I'm saying, with my writing right now, because I am struggling with imposter syndrome. So Sage was sharing that imposter syndrome is their biggest hurdle, about 95% imposter syndrome and 5% anxiety. I don't have much anxiety when I am writing. Actually, writing is how I relieve my anxiety in life, because it just feels so right. It just feels so natural to me that it's like I could wake up in the morning and forego all of the whole life things that there are to do, like showering and dressing and feeding myself and doing all of that, in favor of writing, because writing it just comes that easily, or it doesn't come easily to me, but it just comes that naturally to me. It's like breathing. I mean, when I wake up, I'm automatically breathing. When I wake up, I automatically want to write. Sometimes I'm struggling with, I'm sleepy and I still want to sleep some more. But even then, my brain is still going, I still want to create stories. So I'm either going to create them, your ass either gets out of bed and I write them, or your ass is going to stay in bed and I write them in your head while you sleep, kind of a thing. So I don't really have the anxiety about writing, but I do have lately been having the imposter syndrome. So Sweet Kumar said 75% due to fear and only 25% due to blast. Yeah, I understand that. Sage said imposter syndrome got worse when I published Silk Flower Goodbye, and even worse after that when I signed my sweet romance contract. See, and I would be the opposite, Sage. Every time I have published something, I have felt legitimized. I have felt like I was supposed to be doing this, but it's during the writing process, especially with this book. And maybe it's just because this book is so important to me. This book is so personal to me, because I decided to write it after I lost someone in my life, and I wanted to write it to honor that individual and the struggle that they went through with their illness, and just to show how important they were and to explore the whole life and death thing. And so maybe it's because the book is so personal that it's invoking these feelings, kind of a thing, since it's making me struggle. That's also probably part of the reason that it's making me struggle, is because it is so personal. I want to get this book right, and that's a big deal. So Sage says, I'm still trying to figure out how to get through it myself. Yes, I am too, right now, because I've never really experienced this before, and it's kind of crazy to me. So Sage went to grab the laptop from the office because not sitting out there if the power's going out. Also did emails and checked on a couple of parcels that they're waiting for. And for them, when they published, it felt like it's out there now. What if they realize I'm no good, not a real writer? I can see that. And I can understand that, because you've opened yourself up now to criticism. You've opened yourself up to the possibility of people thinking that your writing is not as good as other writers, or is not as professional as other writers. So I'd actually probably have to say, though, that you've done something that most people never do in their entire lives. I know it feels like there are so many writers out there, and there are a lot of people that write, but there aren't a lot of people that actually publish. And whether you indie publish or you traditionally publish, or small press, whatever, it doesn't matter to me how people publish. Publishing a book is something that people talk about. It's something that people dream about. But it's not something that actually a lot of people see all the way through to the end. So regardless, good or bad writing, anything like that, you've already achieved something that is statistically low. So if you've done your due diligence and you've gone through all of your steps, if you've gone through having critique partners, and you've gone through having beta readers, and you've gone through having an editor, then it's not likely that you have bad writing. It's just not likely that you're a bad writer. Somewhere, someone in that process would have told you that they didn't think it should be published, that they didn't think it was very good writing, or something along those lines. So there would have been a flag that came up at some point. And unless I think you're just like astronomically self-centered to the point where you were going to publish regardless of people thinking that your writing was bad, which I don't think you would do, then I don't think that that's really a problem. Admittedly, I probably felt that way about, surprisingly, I didn't feel that way about my first book. My first book I was so confident about, and that was the book that I published through a horrible vanity press, and I've done videos where I've talked about my process there, and I had a horrible publishing experience, of course, because it was a vanity press. So regardless of that fact, because I was naive at that point and I was uninformed as a writer, I was phenomenally confident, supremely confident in my writing. And now looking back at it, I realized how many tropes I relied on, how cliched my writing was at times, how much more it could have been, how better it could have been if I had had a developmental editor that had helped me through it, and not just a copy editor to go through the book. So I've learned from, of course, that first book. So the second book that I actually indie published, my book, A Touch of Darkness, that was where I started to feel like it's out here, and what if people think that I'm no good and not a real writer? That was where I started to have issues, not with my first book. which I think is kind of interesting. But my big thing was wondering whether or not I was a sustainable writer. Not whether or not I was a good writer, but whether or not I was a sustainable writer and I could come out with more than one good story. And I had switched from my original genre. I had switched from a high fantasy or a dark fantasy genre that I was writing into urban fantasy / paranormal mystery, which is quite a jump actually, because it was more paranormal mystery and less direct urban fantasy, depending on how you want to look at what's an urban fantasy, what's a paranormal mystery, what's contemporary lit. And you can get into so many shades of gray there. It's not even like funny how much you can break that down. Holy crap, I am so sorry, Sage. Hopefully you're able to track them down. I know if my dogs get out, they don't go that damn far. They might wander the neighborhood just a little bit, and our neighborhoods are pretty good size here in Phoenix. But usually I can catch up with them pretty fast because one, my German Shepherd is old and overweight from thyroid issues and food allergy issues, and so she doesn't go that far that fast. And our roommate's dog is older as well, and just kind of derpy, so she doesn't do anything particularly fast. So I can catch up with her. So hopefully you're able to catch up with them. I really hope so. Sage also said, part of the reason why I wrote and published SFG is because my mom always wanted to write a book, but she never had the time until she was in. Yeah. And then it was too late. Yeah. That's it. A lot of people put off writing a book. I'll write a book when, all the time. It's I'll write a book when. And I think that that's one of the things that I like to keep in mind about being a writer is that I am doing something that most people never do. And so no matter how I feel about my writing and no matter how I feel about my word count, I can keep that kind of in the back of my mind a little bit, is I am doing what most people put off their whole lives to do, whether or not they ever get to it or not, or they get to it in their golden years. So thank you, Autumn. I hope I'm being motivational. I didn't like intend for the stream to particularly be motivational for tonight. I didn't know if it was going to be, I didn't know what kind of a stream I was going to have tonight, because I'm in a really good mood other than not sleeping. And I was like, I'm in a pretty good mood. I had a little bit to drink to kind of maybe get me to be drowsy, although that rarely does it. So I don't even know why I was thinking that. But I was thinking, like, I just want to have a stream where I'm talking about the issues that I'm going through with camp right now. It's Camp Nanowrimo. We all know that. I don't think any of us can particularly forget it if we even know what camp is. So I just wanted to talk about, the fact that I had somebody the other day say that, you've written so many books and you've done all this stuff and you're on YouTube, and how is it that you're struggling with your writing? Like, you keep talking about you're struggling with it. And I think it's important to point out that no matter how accomplished you are as a writer, no matter how productive you've been as a writer, everybody goes through issues where they struggle with their writing or they struggle with their confidence in their writing. So I don't know. That's my little spiel for tonight. So while Sage chases down her dogs in her neighborhood, we should probably do another sprint, is what I think, because I need more words in. So Autumn is actually at work and will be popping in and out, but here for moral support. I appreciate that. I do. Moral support is always a good thing. So let's go ahead and do another sprint. We did 15 minutes this last time using Camille's timer, but I think I want to do a little longer of a sprint this time. Let's see if I can find a... How's everybody feel about maybe 25 minutes? Kind of feeling the 25-minute mark, but I gotta like find a 25-minute countdown timer. Here we go. Here's one. I knew I had one in my my writing timer list, my writing timers for productivity playlist. This is what I do, like in my off time. I go and I find timers and crap. Go and find stuff that I can add to playlists that are hopefully will be beneficial to everybody out there in Authortube land, in YouTube land, that'll hopefully help others. Okay. All right, now that I got this one to come up and got it reset to 25. We'll share this. Okay, so let's do 25 minutes this time and see what we can get accomplished during 25 minutes. I don't know, I don't really have a question or anything for this time around, just, you know. Oh, good. I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Good. We're down for 25 minutes. Woohoo! All right. So I don't really have a question or anything to like chat about this particular time. Just, you know, I'll just be interested to know. Oh, actually, I haven't asked. What is everybody working on tonight? That is good to know. So I am still working on the third book in my paranormal mystery series. It is kicking my ass, royally kicking my ass. But I'm going to finish this damn thing. I have to. First of all, I have 9 books in this series that I have roughly sketched out. So if I get halted for too much longer on book 3, I'm going to have real issues. I'm already behind on my production schedule for the whole series. But it's not like I didn't come out with a book, because I came out with a book that came out of nowhere and just demanded to be written. And that was my latest book, which was Karaoke Jane. And I'm glad I wrote it. I'm sad I took the time away from my paranormal mystery series to write it, but I'm really glad that I wrote the book itself. So it's not like I wasn't writing and not like I wasn't producing anything, but it is time to get back to my paranormal mystery series for my fans and for, you know, just for the series itself, because the stories deserve to be told. Okay, so back to what I was doing. Back to a 25-minute sprint. Awesome. Hey, Ryan, good to see you. It is so awesome to see you. I have not talked to you forever. Sage, good. I'm glad that the dogs are back in. Yeah, I'm sure that not feeling great, and you could have done with not running around in the cold winter air and everything. So yeah. So we're going to do a 25-minute sprint and see how many words we can get done in this 25 minutes. And then everybody tell me what it is that you are working on, whether it's a Camp Nano project or not. And, you know, everything. Just let me know what you're working on. That would be so cool. I miss your hugs too, bro. Miss your hugs too. Haven't seen you in ages. All right, let's get started on this timer for 25 minutes and see what kind of writing / productivity / cleaning our house / editing videos, whatever it is that we're doing that we can do. All right, and sprint. Okay. That is the end of that 25 minutes. How did everybody do? I won. The ending of that timer scared the bejesus out of me, and really startled the crap out of me. But I found a hole during that sprint. And so I found a hole in my climax chapter, which is a big deal. And I feel like I'm getting all washed out with my... So I can turn down the intensity level a little bit on my light tonight, because geez, holy crap, I was like super day glow. Like you could have landed planes by me. Anyway, but Apple Snapple went ahead and went to bed. Of course, I will drink some water. Always love you too. I hope you're here to see this. I did not catch this before you left, but if not, then I will tell you another time. I'll tell you on Facebook or something, let you know. Get some good sleep. Get some good sleep. So Jeannie is swinging by to hit the like button, and we'll see y'all again soon. Yep, we are up late. We are definitely up late. Alley Cat's dog is barking in his sleep. I love when my dogs are dreaming. I think it's just the sweetest. When my cats are dreaming too, because cats don't really make too much noise while they're dreaming, but they twitch a lot. And you can see they're more active with like their legs and with their tail and everything when they're, so I can always tell when my cats are dreaming. And it's just the cutest thing on the face of the planet, especially the kittens. Love it to death. Just love it. Anyway, but that was, that was just different. Yes, no, Sage, I was scared to death by the end of the timer as well, because I was really focused. I was really focused on this plot hole. And it's a big plot hole that I've now got to figure out. And I'm in the climax chapter, and which means I have not laid the seed for this plot hole at any point in this whole story. Now, I have time because, like, again, this is the first draft. So I have plenty of time to go in. There are lots, trust me, there are lots of skipped scenes that I have done in this draft so far just to keep the momentum going for my writing. And it's perfectly fine to do that, by the way. If you are writing and you are writing your first draft of something, do not think that you can't skip a scene. Don't think that you can't write out of chronological order. You totally can. And this is me giving you permission to do it right now, because it's what's important in a first draft is your momentum, that you keep going and that you keep writing, and that you don't let yourself get discouraged by the fact that you are struggling with something. The reason I am letting myself struggle right now is because I gave myself a goal of something that I have never achieved before, which is to write one chapter from start to finish, all the scenes in it, without skipping any scenes. And this is just a professional goal that I gave myself, because I've never done it before. And honestly, I just wanted to see if I could do it. So don't think that you have to like emulate what I'm doing as of right now. Totally write out of chronological order, bounce around as much as you need to. In a first draft, it does not matter. You can write in any order what, like Sage, you do not have to write linearly. Yeah, I don't know if it's a word or not. I always say you do not have to write in linear fashion. And it makes me sound way smarter. The helicopters must be looking for somebody, because we got helicopters out tonight and they are really, really low overhead if Deaf Girl can hear them. So must be looking for somebody in Phoenix tonight. Sage spent that sprint chatting with a client. Now I have another gig, which is cool. Awesome. That is really cool. So like I said, I struggled and was struggling because I found this plot hole. So then I had to go back to my outline and I had to read over it and I had to check my scene cards and find out where and how I can address this issue. So if you happen to glance up at the screen, I was doing a lot of like grumpy writer face trying to like figure shit out. But I still didn't do great. For 25 minutes, I could have done so much better, but I got 103 words this sprint. But again, that was an issue. And if you're wondering what I'm writing on over here, I have a notebook that I keep. It is actually my Authortube Tribe notebook. The white's really getting, there we go. My Authortube Tribe notebook. And I keep a little thing of all my different, a little notebook page of all my different streams that says the stream name, the time spent in the stream. So if it's my own stream, obviously how many hours I spent streaming, and then also how many actual productivity sprints we did. So I divided out between what time I was just being chatty and what time I was actually working, and then what word count I got. So that's one way I track things, which everybody does things differently. They can track things differently. Yes, in a linear fashion. Makes me sound so much more clever than I actually am. But a good vocabulary can do that. Alley Cat got 229 words. I am so proud of you. You're definitely doing way better than what I've been doing. I haven't even gotten 229 words for this whole chat, I think, or for this whole sprint so far, for the whole stream so far. I guess maybe I have. 87 plus 103. Yeah. So I haven't even gotten 229 words for the whole stream. So, but I don't care, because the words I have gotten are more than the words that I had, and I found an issue that I'm going to need to fix that I wrote a note for, and need to figure out how to address it sometime later. I'm not going to address it right now. I'm going to address it later because it's problems within the draft that is outside of this chapter. And this chapter is what I'm writing on for Camp Nanowrimo. So Alley Cat is working on the camp project called Letters. It's a YA romance short story on the last chapter on it, and the first draft will be finished. That is so cool. That is so cool. So, yeah. So anyway, so that was one thing that I was talking about. My brain does that all the time, Alley Cat. Didn't start doing good until it was late at night for some reason. Like, my brain decided to finally work a bit late. It's fine since I'm getting a lot done, but still, LOL. Yeah, I do that all the time. Like, typically I am up very early in the mornings. My partner, his usual shift for work is 6 a.m. till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he's up by like 4:30 in the morning. And I don't get up quite that early, but I'm usually up by like 5:30, 6 o'clock at the very latest. However, my brain, while I can draw at that time of the morning, I can't yet write at that time of the morning. So until about 8 or 9 o'clock, I really can't get any writing done. And I feel like almost I've wasted those like 3 hours of the day, but usually I spend them doing other things like getting up, getting dressed, eating, doing stuff like that. I spend a lot of that time drawing and working on my artwork, but I can't really write. And sometimes I can't write particularly well during the first part of the day. It really isn't until later in the afternoon that my brain really kicks in and I can start doing anything, much less just writing, but I can start like cleaning the house and being motivated and like being focused, I guess, actually being able to focus. So that is kind of where I struggle a lot of times with my brain not being able to like be right on track. Hey, Morgan Lee, good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. It's like, I need you during the day too, brain. Yeah. It's amazing how our brain only works at night. As a matter of fact, Apple Snapples couldn't be working either. Hey, Ryan, good to have you back. Earlier I told you, like, get some good sleep, but obviously not able to get some good sleep. I know how you're feeling. Look at me. I'm on here streaming tonight. So doubt I'm going to be able to sleep tonight for a while, but that's okay because I'll just end up writing. I know I need to do some editing on my little confession time, my video, my how-to video or my vlog video will not be going up until later today on Monday, but I haven't even finished editing it yet. So, little confession there. I need to finish editing my video that is going to go up later on this afternoon. So that is something that I should be doing probably sometime during these sprints, but I really want to get some writing in since I haven't written in a couple of days. Like I love to edit, don't get me wrong. And anybody that wants video editing done, I work for trade. Cashing monies is good, but I work for trade and love to do video editing. I'm not spectacular at it. I'm new at it, but happy to do it for people that are interested in it. Like for other Authortubers especially, I know we don't mind filming the stuff, but we don't always like editing the stuff because it does take a lot of time. But I really enjoy doing it. So that is something to do. That is something that I need to do tonight. But I wanted to get, like I said, I wanted to get some writing in, especially while I was feeling like I was having a hard time coming to grips with my lack of writing lately. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, Ryan. The heat, I'm not handling it as well this summer as I normally do. Like I moved to Arizona for the heat. I moved to Phoenix specifically so that I would not have to experience snow again. And so my winters would be 60 degrees. That's what I wanted. And I knew with that, I was moving down here for 120-degree summers or more. And I was fine with it. Like we got here and I acclimated that first year and was doing great. But the heat this year, I don't know if it's just because we moved in the middle of the heat and we're having to do all this outside work just to get our house set up the way that we want it to, like our irrigation in. And so I'm doing a lot more hot working than what I've been doing recently, but I'm not handling the heat so well this year. So been doing 1-hour sprints of cleaning all week. I do a lot of those. Like I will sometimes during the daytime, they have more of these Authortube sprints, and I will do that occasionally where I will take that sprint and I will do the laundry, or I will clean the kitchen, or I will clean the bathroom during the sprint. And I try not to do it for the entire stream. I try to get some writing done, but sometimes I'll do it for like one sprint. The activity does my brain a lot of good sometimes. And that is one way that I use Alley Cat to wake myself up during the day is, I hate to say it, but chores actually do it. Yes, it is still hot right now because it is officially summer for us as well. So it is still super hot, and it is 1:49 in the morning for us right now, and still hot. It's hot in my office because it's the hottest room out of the house. But so Morgan Lee says I haven't written in like 4 days. Well, I have, but not as much as I want. Exactly. Same thing. I have written in, like, I mean, obviously I had my writing stream on Friday. I have something in my eye, y'all. I don't know what it is, but it's driving me nuts, making me blink a lot. But that's gonna be like the thumbnail banner. It's gonna be like me being like, it's gonna be like the weird thumbnail or something. But that's why I always make my own thumbnails. But I'm having the same thing. I haven't been able to write as much as I wanted to write. And I was saying earlier before you were able to pop into the chat that it's really made me feel like despite having as many books out as I have to my name, despite being as productive as I've always been and having my YouTube channel where I tell people how to write, I've really had a blow to my self-confidence in being able to write later or write lately. And I think it's just one of those things where we have to take the ebb within our writing. We have to accept that we aren't as productive as we want to be, especially now when, as writers, we're pressuring ourselves for Camp Nano. There's so much pressure during Nano months, during April, during July, and especially during November, where we're all just being crazy with the amount of pressure that we're putting on ourselves to be productive. So yes, it is still just barely under 100 degrees here, and it is, almost 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's crazy. Food truck weekend. So for those of you that don't know, Ryan and I have volunteered quite frequently with a nonprofit organization here in the Valley called One True Love. And Ryan and I, we work on the trucks together, on the food truck together, which it gets so hot in the food truck while you're cooking and trying to put together, like, be as quick as you can, and you're in cramped space trying to help. I haven't done any outreach in so long. I would like to, but I have zero time and I have zero energy. So that's something that I want to get back to as soon as we get settled into the house and things are calmed down just a little bit. I hate that I'm having to take off the personal time for it, but I do have to take off the personal time because I just can't be reliable for the nonprofit stuff right now. Alley cats never like the heat. They get hot pretty quickly and prefer the cold more. My mom is that way. She overheats very, very quickly and is very much a cold person. My niece is the same way. She kind of prefers more of the chill, cold air, although she came to live here in Phoenix for a really good job. She's got a really good job here, but she came to live here and is not getting any of her cold. So Sage will take cold over heat any day. Can always add, people always tell me that I can always add more layers and there's a limit to how much you can take off before they arrest me for public indecency. Yes, I get it, but the cold makes me hurt. I have too much arthritis and it just makes me ache and it makes me tense and it makes my muscles hurt. And the heat, while I might be sleepy and or restless with it, I don't know, the cold it keeps me grumpy. The heat doesn't really keep me grumpy. I got modern AC. I got air conditioning and central air, and there are pools, and I can always be cool. So yes, I can only take off so much too after a while, but I can walk around my central air conditioned house completely naked if I want, as long as, the roommate's not home, so I don't freak him out, kind of a thing. Alley cat, my room is the coldest, so I should probably go there after I'm done writing for today and turn on my fan. I do have my fan on in here. I love my fan. Yeah, so. Ryan, Sam, I don't want to be around people right now. My day's off. Okay, try and go get that sleep. Peace, love to you. All right, go get that sleep. It's important. Used to volunteer with the community veteran welfare organization. Had to stop because my day job was taking up all of my time. Looking forward to starting up again when C-19 is cleared. That is cool. That's cool. I think doing community service is a big deal for writers. It helps us reconnect with people and helps us reconnect with reality. Plus, it gives us a lot of insight into other people's lives. I love to people watch during and kind of eavesdrop a little bit on conversations and the way people interact with each other while I'm doing community service. So I'm not I am personable and I do connect with people and deal with people, but I like to kind of float around the scenes a little bit more and listen to people and listen to the way they talk and stuff like that. Author Morgan Lee is a Goldilocks, needs things, just the right heat, just the right temperature in order to get things going. Yeah. Yes. So all of me aches when it's cold, and I'm just in a bad mood altogether. Yeah. Arthritis, any kind of illness like that, any kind of body degenerative disorder, any kind of joint disorder, anything like that. Just the cold really is just terrible. Cold, storms, any kind of change in the barometric pressure is kind of a big deal. Like a swift change in the barometric pressure, not a steady change in the barometric pressure. Alley Cat's technically supposed to be asleep, but I am technically supposed to be asleep too. But my partner right now, it's kind of good that I'm awake. So because my partner normally works, like I said, 6 a.m. till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but because of the virus and everything that's going on, they've had a lot of people that can't come into work because they're showing some type of symptoms or some type of illness, or they've had to take off because of family members and things like that. So right now he's covering midnight shifts for a little while. And so it's good that I'm awake because I'll be able to like mirror his shifts a little bit and be awake. It'll be a pain in the ass for me dealing with clients because clients are, during the day, but I'll just kind of have to figure out how I do it. Animal people are the best people. I agree with you. So are book people. Yes. There are people that are educated, and there are people that are compassionate. So those are the best people. People that are willfully educated, those are book people. They're people that want to know more about things. Like those are book people, and or what I call college people. So they're the people that continually go back to college again and again and again, which includes me because I've gone back to college again and again and again for different degrees so I can learn new things. So book people, college people, and anybody, animal people, compassionate people, people that do nonprofit work, volunteer work, things like that are the best people in my opinion. And they do it because they want to be of service, not because it's expected of them to be of service somehow. So I agree, those are the best people. Did I get everybody's chat? Or everybody in the chat, I think? Oh, I did miss one. Maureen Lee has picked up an overnight shift, so will be up for another 5 hours. Well, I'm glad that you've got us on, and that we could be here for you and help keep you company. I am glad about that. Where is that? There it is. Okay. Okay, I think we should do another sprint. I'm feeling like doing another sprint and getting some more words done because I would like to get more than 200 words done in 2 hours. That's pretty rough for me. So try and get some more words done. And we'll do this timer here for another 25 minutes. Because as of right now, honestly, y'all, I really don't know how long I'm going to stream for tonight. It may be 2 hours. It may be 3 hours. I might go epically for 4 or 5 like I've done before. I have stuff to get done. That's all I know. And as long as I need to get stuff done, I might as well be on here helping other people get done in sprints. Might as well. All right. So let's do this 25-minute sprint. I still got something in my eye, y'all. Don't know what it is. It's going to drive me crazy, though. I'm sure it is. So we'll do the 25-minute sprint and get going. Let me see here. All right. I got my banner up. I'll have to remember to take my banner off later. All right. So we will start in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. Okay, that was our sprint for 25 minutes. Let me know how you did in the chat. I did slightly better this time. I did 214 words. Still not spectacular, but I basically doubled my sprint, my word content for the stream so far, so I'm good with that. I'm feeling okay with that. So Sage was saying regarding conversation before the sprint, that what was heartbreaking for them was the animals that they couldn't get to. There were so many that needed care, but if the owners didn't bring them to the clinic, they weren't able to help them. Yeah, I understand that. That would be particularly heartbreaking. So a lot of the community service work that I do on a regular basis is with the homeless here in the Phoenix area, and I come across that a lot where, I mean, there were just people that we weren't able to help. We either didn't have the supplies or we weren't in the area, or we weren't servicing those particular areas. I mean, there's only so much time and so much, so much manpower to be able to put into being able to go out and do street outreach like we were doing. And so a lot of times we would have that issue where we just couldn't, we would be all out of food and we would be basically driving home and we would see large encampments of people that needed help. And they were people that simply either couldn't get to us, didn't know about us, and we were unable to help. And so we would make it a point to try and hit those areas the next time we went out. So we just did what we could. And that's, I think with community service, that's what we have to remember, is that we have to do what we can with what we have. And it's never going to be enough, but we do the best we can. So Morgan Lee is intolerant to both cold and heat. So the weather really sucks 99% of the time for them. Ew. I can only imagine. Well, I don't do the greatest with heat. I mean, I do okay with heat, but like anybody else, eventually the heat gets to me. The heat and humidity eventually get to me. I'm not intolerant to it. I am pretty intolerant to cold. Like, I notice the instant it's cold. We have this new house and all, and we keep the air conditioning pretty steadily comfortable for most everybody in the house, except for in our living room. There is this ceiling fan that is an amazing ceiling fan and does it just has crazy airflow output, and I am constantly chilled in this new living room. And there are blankets just all over the place because I've just got to keep covered up. I don't want to turn it off though, because one, it helps circulate the air freshener. It helps keep the house from being stale and keep the air circulating. And everybody else seems to really like it, but it's a problem for me. So Morgan Lee was able to get 559 words this time. Dang, girl, you just killing it. I was feeling good with my 214, but wow, 549 is really good. But no idea where the story is going. Have an outline, but the characters are doing their own thing right now. I get it. I get it. Sometimes, no matter how well we map out our stories, the characters want to do their own type of discovery. They want to do their own self-discovery, which can be a lot of fun as a writer, but it can also really put us off because we're not getting the traction that we need as far as what our outline has mapped out for us. So then we're like, oh crap, where are we at? And what are we gonna do? Sage spent the sprint. Nah, say that a few times fast. Spent the sprint trying to convince themselves to get up, feed, and dress themselves and move to the office. They are still in bed. I would be in bed if I had my little YouTube set up in my bedroom, which I used to have it in my bedroom, and would be able to do it from bed. I would totally do it from bed if I could. I would stay there, but that's just me. I do like coming into my office. It makes me feel productive. I do like obviously getting dressed and looking decent. But, you know, not something that I have to be doing. I can't say that I don't specifically like to write with my office. I do, because everything is at like arm's reach. Like my pens are here, my notebooks are here. I know all the stuff that I can get to, and get to fairly quickly without like having to like shift around and do stuff like that. So I guess, yes, I do prefer to work from my office, but not necessarily. I don't have to work from my office, I guess I should say. But if I had the opportunity to be as convenient in my bed and work from my bed, I would totally work from my bed. So I'm envying you right now. So what do we say we do another sprint? Like I said, I don't exactly know how long I'm going to stream for tonight. I just want to get some words done, and I want to get some words done and get weird about them with y'all. And so we should probably do another, another sprint at some point. But let me see. Jennifer read a new to me James Patterson novel today, gave them some motivation. That man is who I would love to model my work after. Okay. Admittedly, I don't think I've ever actually read any James Patterson. So not really my particular cup of tea, or at least I haven't run across any of his books that I've been like, yes, I want to read that one. Or at least I don't think I've read any James Patterson. Maybe I have and just didn't realize that it was him, which is possible. I did get a couple of new books recently, and I'm pretty excited about them. I do not know how to pronounce this author's name, but this came up as very highly recommended on my Goodreads channel. The title of it is Who Fears Death, and it is an Africa-based dystopian novel. So I'm pretty excited for it. The author's name I will put kind of up on the screen. There we go. That is the author's name. I am not sure how to pronounce it, so I'm really not even going to try. But the cover really grabbed me, and the synopsis of the book really grabbed me in a post-apocalyptic Africa, a woman who has survived the annihilation of her village and a terrible rape by an enemy general wanders into the desert hoping to die. Instead, she gives birth to an angry baby girl with hair and skin the color of sand. Gripped by the certainty that her daughter is different, special, she names her Oniyasunwu, which means who fears death in an ancient language. So I'm going to give it came, like I said, really highly recommended on my Goodreads. I had a lot of really great reviews and ratings for it. I'm going to give it a chance. If any of you saw one of my latest videos, I'm not a big fan of the dark past rape trope, and the reason for an unusual birth trope. But we will see, because it is a 2011 World Fantasy Award winner, 2012 Kindred Award winner, 2010 Nebula Award finalist, 2011 Tiptree Award honor book, and numerous other honors. So we will see how well it is handled. So I was pretty excited. I got this in the mail today. But what I was more excited about was that I got Aphrodite Lee's book, Shattered, in the mail from Amazon today. So I was pretty excited about it because I've been wanting to get this book for a while. Everyone keeps talking about how amazing it is. And so I was really excited about that. And then I also got Tamara Woods's poetry book today, The Shaping of an Angry Black Woman. So I was excited about it. And while I have already read the Kindle version of the book, I really wanted to get the print copy of Carol Brown's book, Queen of Swords and Silence. So I went ahead and picked it up and got it in the mail today as well too. Because I freaking love the cover art. It's amazing. It's an amazing story. I've already read it. And I'm gonna do a BookTube review on it pretty soon. But I really just wanted to get the book because it's such a pretty cover. And I also wanted to have it for my Authortubers shelf. So those are the three things or the four things that I got in the mail today of the books that I got in the mail. So I was pretty excited about those. So Sage says, part of the resistance is just sharing the office is a pain. Mr. Sage is on duty at the moment, so I don't have that calm space I need to. Yeah, that would be a problem. So in the old house, I gave up my office to a friend when we got our roommate who moved in with us. I ended up giving up my office so that our roommate had a place to live. And I was stuck in the dining room at like the end of the table, which was all common area that people could track through. And I just didn't have the space that I needed in order to be in the right headspace in order to write. So a shared area I totally get as like why you would be reluctant to get out of bed and go to the office. And Alley Cat finished a short story and wrote the end. Congratulations. That is awesome. 270 words was what took to get to the end of it. So I am glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. So Sage has the Sprint Squad chit chat later today and should probably get themselves moving at some point. Being presentable is a good idea. I think being presentable is sometimes overrated. A lot of times, like, I get more done on the sprints sometimes that we do during Savvy Writes Books Sleepover Wednesday stream. And I am usually not presentable to that. I am in my jammies. So it depends. Productivity is what's important, not always presentability. All right, so Alley Cat might go to bed in a bit since it is 3:24 in the morning their time. Yeah, I know. It's 2:30 at my time right now. I'm thinking I'll probably do another sprint and then maybe be finished up. I don't know. I might not. I haven't decided entirely yet. Sage says not an excerpt, but I would say Nettie Okora 4. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking was, how to pronounce that author's name, but I didn't want to like tackle it and totally get it wrong. The book itself sounds amazing, so I can't wait to read it. I also can't wait to see how they tackle those particular tropes because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of those particular tropes. I think they just need to just go away. But I can admit that they can be done right, especially if you are bringing awareness to sexual assault, like I covered in that particular video. Jennifer thinks I will love Shattered. I have heard nothing but good things so far from Aphrodite's book, and I can't wait to read it. So I had to pick it up when I had a chance. Author Morgan Lee is saying, I need to get more Authortube books. I think, just get what you can when you can. Just do what you can when you can. I only just started really picking up other Authortubers books. The first one that I got was Savvy Lizer's One Final Vinyl, and picked it up in both Kindle and print format. And then I also got Cordy's book. And then I got the Kindle version of Carol Brown's book. But again, fell in love with that cover art, so I had to end up getting the print one at some point. But yeah, support when and where you can is what I say. Hey Key, good to see you. So we have done a couple of sprints so far. We've talked about writing imposter syndrome. We have discussed insomnia. We've discussed the weather a little bit, like as far as like heat and cold tolerance and what we can handle. That's pretty much, I think that gets you caught up. Yes, Sage. And I don't blame you, given the fact that it was like 4 o'clock in the morning your time or something crazy, so that you were in your dressing gown for it. None of us noticed that you were in your dressing gown. None of us noticed. So Sage was saying that one of their sweet romances has one of those surprise kisses in it, but there's discourse about it and how it's not okay, and the dude apologizes. So that's good. That's handling it well. That's handling consent culture well, which I do discuss in that video as well about how to handle sexual assault, and what are the tropes that we really need to just be avoiding as writers and getting away from. Okay, let's do another sprint. This time I think we will do this time we'll do a 20-minute sprint. So let me get one pulled up here. If I can get it pulled up here without it just like starting automatically. You know what I wish? I wish videos on YouTube started paused automatically and that you had to like click that you wanted them to start. Or the first video would start that way. Like if I put it in a playlist, I want stuff to, if I put it in the queue, I want stuff to just start and just play. But if it's a one-off video and I haven't put it in the queue, I wish you had to click play. Okay. It's being slow. For some reason, there we go. All right. So, okay, I guess it wasn't as late as I thought it was. I was thinking it was much later, but I'm really bad at time zones, so. Oh. So that was a bit of technology with the technology was not going to be compatible. So, well, I don't blame you for staying as warm as you could. Congratulations for being chilled that whole time and doing so well. Currently 55 degrees and raining there, so Key is cold. Well, it is like 99 degrees right now in Phoenix. So it is quite warm still at 2:30 in the morning. All right, let's go ahead and get this started for 20 minutes. And we will go ahead and sprint starting in 3, 2, 1. Sprint! Okay, that is our 20-minute sprint that we did. Let me know how you did. I did a little bit better. This one I did 412 words. So that one was a little easier. I stopped kind of towards the end of it a little bit to do some rereading just to see if, because the words were flowing pretty decently, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, that I wasn't missing anything along the way. So I did stop and reread a little bit from before what I started writing tonight to going forward, just to see where I was at. Alley Cat did leave us for the night. Going to try and go to sleep. So wishing everybody good luck and good night. I'm glad that we had you here for a little while, Alley Cat, and that you were able to finish your short story on tonight's stream. So I am really happy about that. So Key said that they are in the Seattle area. I can imagine that it's cool and rainy there. Oh, okay. So that's a good trick, Sage. Thank you. The trick there is to put it in a queue, even if it's just a once off. That way it stays in pause until I start it. That is good to know. I will try that. Sage has been having so much fun at karaoke, especially Ladies Who Lunch, which was great. And we loved that you ran and got a prop for it too. That was amazing. Been wanting to do that one for ages. And when Cordy started us off with show tunes, just had to do it. Doesn't matter. We could start off with Doll started it off with Nightwish, and we still went on to show tunes at some point. Still proceeded to show tunes. I think we covered the gamut. We've covered everything from show tunes to metal to Finnish metal to U.S. country western, everything. Covered everything. So author Morgan Lee got 127 words on that sprint, which is good. Sage moved to the office because all the devices began to run out of battery, took the opportunity to get themselves some tuna pasta for lunch. Tuna pasta sounds good. Might have to make some. And a double chocolate hazelnut cappuccino. Well, you should definitely be awake. Should be awake. Now working on pub quiz trivia night rounds, which I am looking forward to. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So I am pretty much, I'm going to call it for the stream for the night. Not because I don't want to keep working, but because I realize that it is now 3:00 in the morning. I still have to edit the rest of the video that goes up later today, and get that uploaded, which I could do the editing during the stream, but I figure this is a Camp Nano stream and I wanted to keep it to my Camp Nano project for the night. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is end up calling the stream for the night, and that way we can all get about doing whatever it is that we're going to be doing, for the rest of our evening / day, whatever it is. I probably will sleep at some point. Maybe, I don't know. So Sage says that they will do a chat email. Okay, cool, when they have more details, but there'll be bonus points for dressing up. Well, that is interesting. Yay, I like dressing up. Dressing up is fun. So, all right. So basically, let's see what I managed to get done today during the stream. I'm going to have to do some adding. So you can see the top of my head for a second while I do some adding. So not too terrible, given the fact that I was struggling during the stream. It was 826 words that I managed to get done for this whole stream today, which I am not going to sneeze at, because it is 826 more words than what I had before. Even if they're rough around the edges, that is absolutely okay, because again, I am working on my first draft. Even if it's your second draft or your third draft, rough around the edges is fine. As long as you get your words down and on paper and you do it with a conscious effort, I think then that is like what the important thing is. So anyway, I want to wish my writing weirdos a good evening, a good day. I'm sure I will at some point, Sage. No worries. Usually it comes to me. It just doesn't always come to me right when I want it to. That's the thing with sleep and me. We are really good bedfellows, but sometimes we argue about who gets what side of the bed. So anyway, yes. So I will look forward to seeing you all on more streams coming up. I believe I have a pop-up, an actual scheduled pop-up. Coming up, yes. This Thursday, July 16th from 3:30 in the afternoon. Nope, sorry. From 4:30 in the afternoon for 2 hours until 5:30 in the afternoon will be my next stream that I have coming up for Camp Nano, where we will hopefully get some more words done and get some more of our projects completed. Thank you so much for coming out to the stream tonight. I really appreciate it. And hopefully I get a chance to see all of you again soon. Check out my video that will be coming up a little bit later on today for a new special topic. It's a little more vlog style than what I usually do. And I will see you all on a fairly regular basis. Sage, don't forget about Sage's chit chats on their channel from 12 p.m. Eastern today. Productivity sprints will be at 11 Eastern tomorrow. So that is good to know. And I am pretty sure Sage is linked down below in my links. I hope so. I think so. I will have to double check that actually. And if not, I will get you put in there, Sage. So, all right. I will see you all later, my weirdos. Have a good night and I will talk with you soon. Bye.